that is destined for this, and this is going to be a little mini glass house. It's not glass, but it's made out of those IBCs, 1 metric or 1,000 litre IBCs. So I cut it in half, shortened it, put on some hinges, put on some framework, raised it off the ground, and now I'm going to just put a few rocks in here before I put that seed raising mix in. These IBCs are pretty cool. They have a drain tap for whatever product they're carrying, and you can see there it is, and if I want I could shut the tap off. It's in the open position. At the moment there's a wee channel on the base of this IBC, so what that means is water is going to hit that channel. I'm trying to sort of cover the channel with rocks so that the soil doesn't just fill it up. Anyway, it should more or less free draining baby. Okay, so when I did the last comment about free drain baby, it didn't free drain because it wasn't level, and I could see that because of the water, but I've now just dug them down into the ground a little bit to get this contraption slightly lower than level, and let's see what we've got here. Free draining baby. I'm hoping this is a nice bed for our seed raising. Maybe some lettuces. Here in New Zealand we're in the second month of spring, so still having some frosts and cold nights. We had a -2 2 nights ago, so it'd be a bit risky to put seedlings out that are subject to frost damage, but I might be able to get a slight head start by using this self-made greenhouse. Good thing is with this trommel, I mean look, that's all really nice, but if I dig through a bit that hasn't been trommeled, or maybe it got contaminated, I just re-trommel it. It's just so straightforward. So yeah, I know that the areas around the very edge here probably got a bit of stuff I don't want in the garden. I'll leave those till last and I'll re-trommel them. Self-sown vegetables, they just grew from scraps that ended up in the compost, planted themselves, grew unaided. I didn't do anything with them, and there they are. What a bonus. So I'll sort through those. There'll be some I can't consume. Don't worry about that silver beet, it's looking wilty. That'll wash up just fine. How about that? Free food. This here is all kitchen scraps, all food scraps. You may have seen earlier there were some bones coming through. We'll just put leftover bones, some roasts or whatever out there. And all the bugs and microbes and organisms or whatever, they'll take care of all of the bits on the bone, and they were very clean as you saw. So I haven't rotated or done anything. There's some grass clippings. Those potatoes that you saw, there were some yams, they were all self-sown. That's why I didn't mind pulling them up, even though they were more or less a viable plant, but they were self-sown. Oh, this is amazing, look at it. Just kitchen waste. This is the IBC as I received it. One-time use, it had some content. It's been rinsed a number of times, and you can see it's in great condition. It's got a really good cage, everything's nice on it, and you can see it's got a sturdy plastic base that's forkliftable. In modifying the container, this is what I took out of it. Now it's in 2 pieces like that because I took one, I cut it twice basically. I took one section out and then realized I needed more, so I took a second cut. So next time, of course, I wouldn't need to do 2 pieces like this. I'd just do it in one go. Just a quick thing about cutting. I started out thinking I would use a hand saw. No, that was too complicated. Then I started using a circular saw, and that was messy and didn't feel that safe, just because the plastic was flexible. In the end, I used a disc grinder with a cutting disc, just a small 5-inch grinder, and that was excellent actually. And then finally, this is the rest of the cage that I didn't need, so I used the same disc grinder with a cutting disc to remove the cage, as you can see it. I couldn't really see many projects that used these in this way, these IBC containers. I found one wee video, but this is my interpretation. So that's the original pallet it came on. I kept that. I just found some square tube and banged it up into some plastic recesses and one screw, so that's quite strong actually. I cut out a middle section of the whole bin, and so it's in 2 parts. Really basic. This is just a strut that one-handedly can go into these holes. Oh, there we go, self-resetting, so when I don't need it, when the lid's down, it will just sit there, so it's out of the way, but nice and safe there. Okay, so I riveted on some aluminium square, or not square, angle, and that's just to help the lid sit down nicely onto the base. Made a bit of a mistake in my calculations. When I marked it, I went around and marked it with a pencil so it sat under the frame here, but I think it must have settled differently in the crate, because when I cut it, it was a lot lower, and now I realise I should have set it above. Right, let's just put the lid down. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's shut. Another mistake I made is you can see through it, so it's not watertight. It does mean that there'll be rainwater creep in. You can see it doesn't line up correctly. There's not a lot of structural integrity in these bins when they are separated. So again, I would somehow in the future, I'd make the lid so it flared out slightly and maybe came down over top of the inner of the base, so it did create a seal. But hey, it's free draining, baby. So if there's any excess rainwater, it's going to be taken care of. Okay, so as far as ventilation, well, you know, there's some natural ventilation here. I can unscrew the lid that came with the bin. There we go. So that's nice ventilation. On a really hot day, as you just saw, I can lift the whole bin up and set it in place with the struts. That's just really simple tube with a screw in it, a hole in here, really low tech. That's all it needs to be. I set the angle of this so that the struts, when they're collapsed, fit down in here. They don't go too much further this way. Also, the angle is good when I'm standing working at it. My head is more or less clear. I can reach in quite easily right to the back. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, decided to put one more barrow load of that mix in. We're in New Zealand, second month of spring. What should I grow in here?
Well, I think you'll do well with your tomatoes in this area.
Oh yes.
You know, like your cherry tomatoes, if you'd like to come out.
Yeah.
And you'd enjoy coming out and picking something sweet.
That's right.
I mean, maybe the lettuces in the winter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which would mean protecting from frost.
Yes. True.
Which means you could have a lettuce in the winter. It'd be interesting to see how long the tomatoes last. Bush tomatoes actually disappear really quick anyway. You can keep replanting them, but you couldn't really plant indeterminately in here because No, you could, but ones that keep growing.
I see.
Because there's no height, you know.
Yeah, there's a limit to the height.
So really you're going to either be trimming the tomato,
Yeah.
or having the bush ones.
I mean, I thought about that when I designed it, how deep the lid should be to give you growth height, but then I thought, I mean, the lid's about 250 millimeters tall, towards 300. I thought if it goes too much higher than that, it's going to be floppy and ungainly.
Well,
Maybe it would have been right.
with this sort of style of gardening, you probably don't want to do little things, you know. You're not wanting to feed your whole family out of it. It's like a enjoyable thing. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
your nice food. Yeah. You know, this is like the wee freezer at the bottom of the fridge that holds your wee ice cream that you treat yourself with every now and then. It's like the garden that you come out and you have a sweet juicy tomato, or
I like that idea.
your lettuce when it's out of season.
The position of this as well, I thought about the aspect. So behind Jade is north, so this is north. This is south. Behind my wee garden bin, you know, it's protected from the southerly. So in New Zealand, the south is the cold, the north is the sun travel. So north facing is what we desire, and so well protected from southerlies. It's tucked up right by this building. I think there's also going to be natural collection of heat anyway in this area. I'm going to be really curious. I might get an outdoor thermometer and just see what this acts like. Something else I like about a raised garden bed like this: no hedgehogs, and none of these are going to get near it. Well, I suppose with the lid up, this one might try. It's done things like that before. But we'll know. Yeah, that's it. We'll do fingerprint matching. In your case, paw matching. Oh, here we go. Some tomatoes, a couple of chili, 4 chili plants, cucumber. Nice little garden. I'm very excited. So that water's going to soak down. I'll keep an eye on it, make sure it's damp. And I'm just going to watch this over the next few weeks to see how they go. But anyway, we're going to put them to bed and let the growing begin. Day 2 of planting. I've put a temperature gauge inside here, which you can see it's just sitting there. It transmits data. These are all my little plants, happy little guys. That's what it's currently showing in Celsius, and that's it in Fahrenheit, so that's pretty nice. You know, today outside there's a cool wind. You certainly wouldn't have 27 degrees out here. My plants are happy.